What's good, y'all? It's your boy Mixtape Moth. Please hit that like button. Please subscribe to the channel if you already haven't subscribed to the channel, as that is always greatly appreciated. But today, I'm going to hit y'all with my thoughts on this new project from OT The Real entitled Zombie. This is the third album of the year from the prolific Philly MC OT The Real. Now, OT The Real has been grinding heavy in the underground scene since the late 2010s, pumping out multiple projects annually. Two of my favorite albums from OT The Real thus far have been Broken Glass, produced by Green Lantern back in 2021, and Maxed Out, produced by Static Selector back in 2022. So obviously, with OT The Real, you are going to get those very descriptive, vivid, and authentic street bars. Now, this new project, Zombie, is his first release on Black Soprano Family Records, Benny the Butcher's label, and it also serves as Benny the Butcher's first executive produced project. And I think that's dope to see each of the big three Griselda members branching out with their own labels and executive producing albums. Now for Zombie, OT The Real decided to link up with the very slept on producer araabMUZIK, who is known for his icy, atmospheric backdrops. He's been relatively quiet on the boards recently, it seems, but I am glad the Black Soprano family sought him out for this new release. And I actually wish there were more artists who would utilize araabMUZIK's production because he has such a distinct sound that I think would work well for so many artists. But this project, Zombie, contains 12 songs lasting approximately 33 minutes. With that being said, let me go ahead and just hit y'all with this track-by-track breakdown. The opener, If They Coulda, They Woulda, has this neck snapping production, this punchy but still on the ethereal side. On this one, OT The Real is basically priding himself in being a survivor of the streets. He knows that his ops and the feds want him, but if they could have, they already would have. So as a whole, it was a solid tone setter for the project. Track 2, Turning Stones, easily has my favorite instrumental. I like the chilly strings and the addictive vocal harmony, and OT is rapping with some urgency here, talking about all that he had to do just to overcome. He reflects back to his prison days when his mom would come to visit him in Ohio, and just all the losses that he had to take on the chin. So there is that motivational quality to this record that I dug. He said, "There ain't no sand on Kensington Beach. You don't even know I've been on probation and parole more than I've been on my feet. The second you thinking it's cool is the second they turning up the heat." Sounds like a jewel. Track 3 is the single The Crown with Benny the Butcher and elcamino, and this is set to the sounds of rainfall and gloomy pianos. It's that type of vibe where you just envision these three guys hustling out in the rain, maybe rocking some fly sweatsuits or something. Benny had a strong opening verse speaking on attending funerals at a very young age, and also being so broke that he thought buying shacks at Sears would at least get him semi-fresh. elcamino delivered another strong melodic hook. He just doesn't seem to miss with these crooning choruses. And OT has some clever lines like, "Rap is like a Pyrex, you just gotta put that work in." He also paints a grimy visual of life in his city of Philly with, "They found my man and his arm still had a needle in it. My little bro will blow your car up for some Eagles tickets." Man, that's just crazy Philly behavior. Following this is Strong Survive, and it's backed by a plucking atmospheric beat that was pretty polished. I really have no complaints with the production, but OT is mostly harmonizing and rapping in a trap-like cadence with a layer of auto-tune, which I didn't particularly care for, the auto-tune that is. Sure, it's not terrible singing, as I've heard, far worse melodic attempts from artists this year, but I don't see myself returning to it. Next is the highlight, Just Different with Conway the Machine. Now, this has a Rainy Day sax sample that does sound like it could have been produced by La Musica, the Harry Fraud. OT The Real does a pretty good job of painting a picture of a paranoid lifestyle as he's ducking warrants, barricading doors and just flushing the work before the feds sweep. Conway came through with a solid performance, but the following punchline from OT was comical. He kept asking for his dough. They told him stop tripping. I guess he got tired of all the no's like Larsa Pippen. But altogether, I like the moody but swank sax production, and it's one of the standouts on the album. Right after is Certain Things with 38 Spesh, and it's a certified street gem. We get the same sample that was used on Prodigy's The Genesis, which I had always loved, and I was super glad that they decided to flip that here. Yeah. This was an anti-snitching, taking a vow of silence type record. OT amusingly states, I swear I don't F with that white girl like Dr. Umar. And 38 Spesh kills it with a strong verse devoted towards his hatred of snitching. Yeah, if you like that chilling, Mobb Deep-like meets mafioso aesthetic, then you will surely have this as one of your top songs. Immediately after is Ice Baby. It's essentially a crack dealing anthem set to this eerie, suspenseful beat. There weren't a lot of quotables that jumped out, but it's a good vibe, and I could appreciate the flow change up. And there is the menacing track Bloodstains with Rome, Streetz, and this is centered around an elegantly dark instrumental with this dreary overcast quality. Rome and OT are hard men who lived hard lives, and authenticity just oozes out of their verses on this track. OT states, got homies still detained off of stop and frisk, youngin' holding one in each hand like the Oculus. And Rome has a crisp and rich verse detailing all the ways the bloodstains can stain the pavement. Overall, it's definitely one of the standouts that contains another killer Rome Streetz feature for 2023. Afterwards is Whole Shebang with Amir Ali, and the two give us solid verses over this ghostly backdrop. OT raps, if you love me, say it every day because emotions change. Most of my enemies done turned to packs. We don't smoke the same. All in all, I found this to be a decent song with more of that low-key, grim flavor. Track 10 is Anemic with someone called Lights or Lits, I believe. Now, this track sonically is more geared for the listeners who likely listen to NBA Youngboy and, let's say, YFN Lucci. There's a calming atmospheric backdrop that was cool, but the auto-crooning from Lits wasn't really my cup of tea. So, as a result, this is my least favorite song easily. The second and last song is JJ Redick, and it has a plush boom bap sound that is both smooth but rugged. Here, OT is likening himself to the NBA player, giving us one solid verse stating, the work that I sold don't hold a candle to all the work that I put in. So all around, slick production with crisp drums and OT doing what he does best. And this project wraps up with Fade Away, his most introspective on the album, where he speaks on his transition from the streets to music. But people still to this day stop him on the street and ask him about numbers. And this is set to some softer, melancholy keys and this otherworldly vocal harmony. OT somberly states, they found cancer in my homie at a physical. Think he got it from the water and the prison food. Then he recalls how being a rapper and being in the studio actually saved his life. It saved him from street missions that he could have been on, where his partners now both got life. So overall, I'm going to give this project a rating of a strong 3.5 to 4 mics. Now, on the past couple OT The Real releases, I found the production to be somewhat of a mixed bag, but I think araabMUZIK on the boards was a much better fit. If you like those icy, dreary, cinematic, East Coast style beats, then you will likely appreciate the production vibes throughout this album. I'd say the features were strong, with the exception of Lids or Lights. Well, in fairness to that brother, he didn't do bad, but the auto-crooning didn't appeal to me. Yeah, I think OT The Real on Black Soprano Family Records makes sense. And this is a pretty dope first project for Benny to executive produce. At the end of the day, it does have that eerie, chilling, haunting vibe that is right on time for Halloween. My favorite tracks include Turning Stones, The Crown, Just Different, Certain Things, Bloodstains, JJ Redick, and Fades Away. But let me know what you thought about this project in the comment section. It's your boy Mixtape Muff. I'm signing out. As always, it's peace and blessings. OT the Real Zombie 1.